But then Zack Sabre Jr. comes out, and everyone is wondering what is Zack here? He is not listed on the show. And with that, Katsuyori Shibata enters Budokan Hall, and Kevin Kelly and Chris Charlton, who were reacting completely organically. This was not on the run sheet. So this was kept very quiet, I guess, with those that needed to know. And it is announced that Katsuyori Shibata, unannounced, is going to have a 5-minute exhibition match with Zack Sabre Jr. And this place just lost it.
Specifically, an exhibition match under UWF rules.
Right. That's what they stated on commentary. I mean, this was really just a grappling match. We weren't doing any kind of points or anything like that you associate with UWF.
Is there a way of saying this was a grappling exhibition, basically?
Yeah, that's what it was here. It was incredible to hear Kevin Kelly and especially Chris Charlton react to this, that you could tell was just a natural reaction of like, what is going on here, and figuring it out in the flesh. Like, oh my God, he's wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, if they did know, then the acting was superb.
They did not know.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, incredible. I mean, incredible that it happened the way it did. And I think, Chris especially conveyed the enthusiasm that everybody around the world was feeling, seeing this moment unfold. It was just like, on a show where I feel like so much has been predictable in New Japan, to all of a sudden get something so out of the norm like this. Not just the return of Shibata, but Shibata in a exhibition grappling match. It feels so unlike the New Japan Pro Wrestling playbook of late. It was a wonderful moment.
Yeah, I mean, you just got the two. They just start grappling, and pretty much everyone's just in this fog of watching Katsuyori Shibata in perform here. Yeah, just to see him perform. Zack came out twisting the ankle. There was a head scissors spot where Shibata did a headstand to escape right out of the Tiger Mask Dynamite Kid series. Each are just working for chokes. And before you know it, the 5 minutes is up. And Kevin Kelly had the best line here where he said that Shibata wants more time. Don't we all? It was a great line from Kevin Kelly here. And then Shibata just addressed the crowd, thanked Zack, and said that next time he's in this ring, it'll be for a match, and took the big back bump just like he did at the finals in 2017, the I'm alive moment. This was totally unexpected. And I would say this, we have, for all the wrong reasons, the other big story on this show, but this was the feel good moment of the show.
And the feel good moment of professional wrestling today, if not this entire week. If not for some people, maybe a bigger scope than that. This was wonderful, dude. Like, and it didn't matter who won or the fact that we didn't get a winner. It was just more so the fact that we got to see this guy perform again. And I think the idea to do this, I would assume probably largely came from Shibata, who I think, from what you could tell, has desperately missed simply performing in front of a crowd. And I felt like the idea to do it under these UWFI grappling rules is absolutely brilliant. I would assume on a daily basis, he probably takes risks bigger than this, like just in the dojo. But to keep it just to, straight up grappling, and beautiful grappling at that, it was a wonderful way to, and to me, it completely changes the game. Like, how many people do we know that, might have these sort of unfortunate concussion injuries that have prevented them from continuing to, wrestle again? There's a style of performance that's available out there via this, via what we see in Bloodsport, that allows these guys to have performances without too much risk to there's definitely still risk, but without too much risk to their bodies. And Shibata completely falls in line with that. I have no doubt he probably handpicked Zack Sabre Jr. as his opponent for this type of match, and you probably couldn't have asked for a better person. And when it comes to like this sort of wrestling, it's not really just the technique, but it's also the art of conveying the pain and the torque and the submission as well, of which both these men are completely excellent in. So my only, sadness was the fact that this was only 5 minutes, because I think you could tell everybody, including the performers themselves, wanted to go at least 5 more, if not 15, if not 20. So Shibata says he's going to like come back in a wrestling match. I mean, that remains to be seen. To me, it feels a lot more like wishful thinking, but it could be the start. But if not, I would love to see this again.
Yeah, I think that's the other side of it, is that you come out of this, and I think people have to really realize just how significant that head injury was in 2017, and that he has not done a match since then, and clearly wants to. And they've kind of teased this, like when he did the big brawl with Kenta. You had those hints.
Did they tease it or did he tease it?
Well, that's what it comes down to, is Shibata. I mean, how much he is pushing for this versus what New Japan, obviously they were comfortable enough to allow this in a very protected style of exhibition, that there was not going to be any kind of trauma to the head or any kind of risk that you're going to run into in something like this. But you're left with the want of seeing this guy. Unless this guy is healthy and he has doctors that are clearing him, I think people have to like temper expectations. Like, that was a very serious head injury that he sustained.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like if there's anything we've learned this year and from years past, I mean, it's never say never in this industry for these sort of comebacks. So I think we all hope for the best. But let me just say, like, if this is allowed, I really do hope they run with it. My suggestion: give him the King of Pro Wrestling Championship. Take it from Toru Yano, and every match that Shibata has, make it he's allowed to pick the stipulation. You make it one of these great exhibition matches. Puts him on the show, gives him a belt, allows him to play storylines, cut promos, and gives one of these great matches that breaks up some of the monotony that we've seen for so long on these New Japan shows.
It's pro wrestling. You can come up with different ways to utilize. Like, if you're comfortable enough with Shibata in this kind of style that he can do these, I mean, as you said, like, he's probably doing like a lot of this on a pretty routine basis in the dojo, that you can do this, and you have an audience that will eat the stuff up, that would love to see him do a 20-minute grappling match.
And the roster of opponents that's available to him, like
between here and Strong, there's endless guys that you can do this with.
I mean, and the one that's out there that everybody's already suggesting that is a dream match scenario is, of course, Bryan Danielson. So
who I think has been signed up for about 5,000 matches from now until the end of his career.
Yeah.